so for that, we ain't never left. Back we here, me and my team on the grind.
Let me start by saying this. People talk about the 90s, hip hop in the 90s, rap music in the 90s, and how different it was from the music of today, and how different it was for a culture back then. So, in looking at some of this footage and posting some of this footage, there's a couple of things that I've noticed. But one thing is that there was very few people that was actually recording in the 90s. So this is really one of the only places that you're going to be able to find for real footage from the 90s of that era that shows you what it looked like back then. Because everybody wasn't running around with a camera on their phone and recording stuff. Like if you wanted to record stuff, you had to actually have like a video camera. And even for those, like there was personal video cameras and stuff, but a lot of people wasn't recording hip hop. And a lot of people in general wasn't used to being recorded. So people really didn't have that same need to be in front of a camera all the time like we all do now. Back then, cats was more suspicious of anybody that had a camera. So that was one of the problems I used to run into when I would be going out on these different shoots. So if I went to a place like here in Skate 22, it wasn't like people was jumping in front of the camera like, yo, I want to get my shout outs, let me say something like that. That would be at a party, you would see that, because Video Music Box made that popular of doing shout outs when you're at a party. But when it was just like regular life stuff like this, or they didn't recognize that Video Music Box was in the house, which was like the only people that was recording besides us like this on this type of level, people wouldn't be jumping in front of the camera. Like you would have people looking at you like, yo, who's you? Like, why are you recording me? You know what I'm saying? So it was much different in that aspect. But also, just the fact of, a few small things would be, you could see there's a difference in the dress, but mostly the dress of the guys. You know what I'm saying? There's not as many tight clothes and stuff like that. The girls pretty much was dressing the same, and the fashion wasn't a whole bunch of different, and maybe y'all could tell me if you really see like a big difference in how everybody was dressed, and if you could really tell, other than the quality of the camera, what the look of the people was. If it really looked different, is the hairstyles really that much different? Is the clothing and the outfits that much different? But beyond that, it was really the music and the culture that was different. Now, on here, you're going to be hearing a lot of different popular tracks at the time. And I think it was the mentality of the music and the mentality of the people that really was the difference when you're talking about the 90s culture versus now. And maybe by listening to some of the music, y'all can tell me what you think are some of the differences that you hear in what's being said and how it's being perceived and how it's being taken. But again, you're only really able to see this type of footage in a place like this. Shades of Hip Hop, we was the underground record of hip hop back then. So we was among a few different cable shows maybe that was even going out to some of these clubs and checking out the local scenes of what was going on. Now, because I'm in New Jersey, right here next to Newark, and I live in Newark now, right at this time, we was capturing all the illest shit, back then. So we right across the water from New York. I'm like 30, 40 minutes away from the city. You know what I'm saying? So anything that was going on in New York that we wanted to check out, we was right there. You know what I mean? So we got some of the best cultural expression of hip hop and rap music back then. So there's not even too many people that even have footage like this. So I hope y'all appreciate it. And if you do, let me know by dropping a comment in there and tell me what you like, what you would like to see. as well as, just share the video with some people so that they can get up on this type of flavor as well. Because again, this is like once in a lifetime material, stuff that you're never going to see anywhere else. All right. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. Shout out to you.
I want to hear Benjamin's one more time.
Shout outs to DJ Cool Craig, you know what I mean, who put all this together for Midnight Saturdays over at Skate 22 in Union, New Jersey. We used to go up there every Saturday night just to catch some local flavor and see what DJs he would bring through, because that was his main thing, of bringing through popular DJs. And one time, this is just a side story, but one time when we were on the road, this is probably in 2009, 2010, we're on the road, I'm on the road with KRS-One, we're promoting the Stop the Violence movement, promoting the gospel of hip-hop and all that, and we run into Biz Markie outside of a show somewhere. I can't remember, it might have been the show in Buffalo, New York, up at the college. It might have been that show, and I'll find the footage. I have footage somewhere around here of that as well. But I was doing a little quick interview with Biz and KRS. They was talking before they went to the show. And then I did a little separate interview with Biz. And then I mentioned that Biz was one of the illest DJs. Now, obviously, and then afterwards, Chris was like, Biz is a beatboxer. I was like, yeah, I know that. But Biz, for the longest time, has been like a triple threat in hip hop, way before a lot of other people were. So meaning he actually started off as a beatbox, but then he was an MC, obviously also because he has records, which he was the MC, but he's also been a dope ass DJ from way back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Biz really was DJing before a lot of these other rappers that turn into DJs now. He was doing that way back in the 90s. And he was actually a dope-ass DJ that would get the party, like, jumping every time he came there. Biz was, one of those party DJs that kept the crowd hyped. That's what he was into. He wasn't just normally spinning just the regular records. He would always actually try to get you hyped. So that was the type of DJ Biz was. And he probably still is today. You know what I'm saying? If you catch him out there on the road somewhere once we open back up. But yeah, so shout outs to Biz Markie. This footage is going to be featuring him. Shout outs to Coco Chanel, even DJ Clue, DJ Doo-Wop. Those are all people that I have up at Cool Craig. Might be a couple others thrown in there as well. But check this footage out. And again, if you like this content, subscribe to the channel so you'll always be updated on when I drop a new shit, all right? Check this out, please.
Now let's go out to my real fuck niggas out there. definitely shades of hip hop. It's definitely in the house. It's diabolical. Hey, yo, I ain't hear this shit up on the top either. The black, everybody get black. They gon' be a black to the child, man. I'm in the back. I let you ride shit. I'm mad up, turn your body. It's just like a business scissor. Hey, you feel my stomach with the ankle. The kid is what I mean. Man, get it up and put some change. Hold up. Let me see.
Yo, word is small, tonight, representing with singing hip hop. Got the diorama, you know what I'm saying? Biz Markie in the house, you know what I'm saying? That's what I did, so pretty good. Yo, it's all like this. That's sad, Not yet. Got an auto.
Every Saturday here, Food Great Production.
First night, singing hip hop. Shout out to man, here playing clothes. My man Wayne, down here, 222. Stop by with the one Biz Markie. School grade, midnight Saturday. This way you sing hip hop. Word is all. It's little Uzi and shit. It's little Uzi and shit. We got an AK-47. What is that? It's a bag out there.
Out there, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know that bitch was on the tables going. It won't be on for everybody know that bitch was on the tables going.
To the next bitch, with me, it's with the next bitch. With speed, I make the best bitch, be the accident. Baby, you gotta know your parents respect it. I mean, you get the keys to With no child, I got your own 96 tongue. Ride and keep your ass tighter than Versace. That's why you gotta watch your friends, you got to watch me. Nigga, now this shit first chance to rap with me. Nigga, try me only get his 50 cent pranks. Everybody's moving, but there's still a panic. Time to give it on your belly, no question. I know that you can do what she did next. They say sex is a weapon. So when I shoot, me and you have less than 8 seconds. Still counting in my afterlife. My afterlife, shit is tight. Who you asking, right?
So relax, we here, me and my team on the grind for a minute, now we about to put the flavor in your head. Relax, in the flesh, mind never flesh. We here, me and my team on the grind for a minute, now we about to put the